welcome back. Hopefully you've seen my video of a little mishap. I ran out of talent on the 2000 MXZ 600. Hopefully you've seen that video here, and we'll show you what we got going on here. So here's the 600. We got her loaded on the trailer. We had to have some help to get it loaded up in the trailer, but it is on the trailer. The motor doesn't turn over. So we're going to dive into this. We'll pull the motor. We're going to dive into this. We'll pull the motor out. We'll look at what the damage is, see what's going to require to get it fixed, and see if we can get it going again. Season's almost over. We might get it going before the season's over. It may be a project for the summer, and we'll have it ready to go for next year. So stay tuned. So as you can see, we can't move the clutch. She's locked right up solid. This is the nice MXZ 600. We'll get pulling the airbox, exhaust, and see what it takes to get the motor out. So I'm not going to record all this. We'll just record bits and pieces and let you guys follow along. Well, we have a motor pulled out. There's the empty hole where the motor was. We pulled the rad hoses. Did the two connectors here for the electrical, another one down there. We pulled the carbs, the airbox, oil pump lines, fuel pump line. And here's our motor. We got her out. We'll get her in the garage. We'll get a look at it and see what else we find. Alright, we got the motor on the bench here. Ready to dive into it here, see what we can find. Oh, we pulled the exhaust Y pipe off, and we looked up the exhaust ports here, and everything looks decent. Doesn't look like it's seized up or anything, so we'll dig a little deeper. Now I'm assuming it's probably a crank bearing, so we'll keep digging into this. We'll pull the head next. Oh, we got the head all unbolted, ready to come off. See what we see inside here. Doesn't look terrible. I see a little bit of pitting on it. That could be from a previous incident, but this one here's got, but that piston's loose. That piston's loose, so we're not seized. So that's a good sign. That's telling me it's crank bearing, so we'll keep digging into this a little farther. We'll pull the cylinders next. Now we're ready to pull a cylinder here. I'll see if I can do this one-handed or not. But that's one cylinder off. It looks pretty good. We'll pull this cylinder off, make sure it's good too. It appears to be alright. I don't like this little pitting here, but she might have sucked a little water, and that's probably from the water doing it. We'll see if we can clean these up or not. I can't lift that one up because apparently the crank must be frozen in it. So we'll pull the clutch off. We'll work on splitting the bottom end cases here. We'll flip her over and get out the bolts, pull the motor plate off, motor mounting plate off, and see what else we find here. So far the top end looks good. We might be doing all right. Throw a new crank in it and we might be back in business. Alright, we pulled the flywheel, the stator. You got to pull the stator so you get these 3 bolts and let the cases split. We got cylinders off. We also had to pull the recoil ring off as well. So yeah, we're ready to split the cases. We pulled the motor mount off the bottom, all the bolts here. Everything here looks pretty good. Let's set that aside like so. And we'll have to see which bearing is seized up. Oh, if it's this one here or this one here. If it's this one on the end, that'd be an easy fix. But so far, that one there is good. That one there seems to be stuck though. So we'll pull the crank out and we'll check it over and see what we find. These two here spin alright. They sound a little noisy. They're not in the greatest shape. And then this one here is lock solid. I can move this one. And then these ones here are decent as well. But yeah, that one in the center there. So she's time for a new crank. She's got 14,000 kilometers on her, so it's not to be no big surprise or anything. It's kind of be almost can understand how it or why it went. So I guess we'll get on Facebook Marketplace, see if we can find a crank. So there's the problem we ran into. I don't think it's from sucking water. I think it's just from old age. It just happened right after I washed it. So stay tuned to the channel, and maybe we'll do a rebuild video on this. So until then, we'll get on Facebook Marketplace, find some parts, or maybe buy some new stuff. Maybe buy a motor, not sure. We'll look into what our options are to fix this. So stay tuned, and we'll see what we get up to.
3 days later.
You see it running, she's fast running, ready to go.